Crisis in Canada, and according to an Ottawa think tank, solving the problem requires more than just government will. A new report out today from the Broadbent Institute says if the feds and private business sector invested $670 million each, more than 180,000 new jobs could be created, dropping the current youth unemployment rate of more than 13% down by 2 percentage points. Joining us this morning is Graham Mitchell, Director of Training and Leadership at the Broadbent Institute. And it's an interesting plan. Tell me, though, how it would work.
So what we would do is encourage the federal government to invest more money in some of the existing programs that they have, the Youth Employment Strategy, and hopefully partner with Canadian businesses to create some 3-month internships, paid internships, co-op placements, and other opportunities for youth to get some really important work experience as they're transitioning out of school, that all-important time between when they get their first job after they finish school. So bringing them more quickly with experience into the workplace.
You talk about something called dead money with regards to corporate Canada. What is that, Graham?
Dead money is money that corporations have invested in non-capital parts of their business. So they're not reinvesting in people or things, they're putting it in stocks or whatever to make money. And it's money that's not really helping the Canadian economy, and it's not helping create any jobs. And we're encouraging them to think about using some of that money, which grew by about $9 billion in the first quarter of this year alone, to create some more job opportunities for young people.
And I would think encouragement is the key word there, that you're encouraging them because the will has to be there.
That's right. It really needs to be a partnership between the federal government, who provides the program and the opportunities for those businesses to invest, but also their will to be able to spend that money on helping young people get into the workplace faster and take advantage of the skills that they built up while they were in school.
When you look at the numbers, though, and you see that the unemployment rate for young people at 13.3% is double that of the employment rate, across the board, the general unemployment rate, it's unbelievable. I mean, these are what, worse than the recession?
That's right. It's worse than before the recession for young people, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think people think that the recession is largely over and behind us, but
not for them.
For young people, they're still struggling, and there's lots of folks that are looking for work that have gone and done the right thing and got training and built their skills up, and now they're having trouble finding a job. So
you've given us the solid nuggets of the plan. Is there anything else in the research that was done and in the plan that you're presenting that Canadians should know about?
I think something that people don't really think about is that there's been a lot of research by actually TD economists and others that have said when young people have a break before they enter the workforce after they go to school, their earnings over a fairly long period of time are reduced. They actually have a word for it, it's called scarring. And that reduction in long-term wage earning stays with them for quite a while. So this opportunity to get into the workforce quicker, get some work experience, helps them over the long term.
Helps them over the long term so they don't have that lull as well, right?
That's right, yeah. That gap in their employment can be harmful over their long-term earning potential, and that's something that we want to be able to work with Canadian businesses and the federal government working together to figure out a solution for that problem.
Is it a matter now of presenting this report to the federal government and to corporate Canada?
Yeah, we hope that they all pay close attention and think about options for investing in creating those jobs, and that the federal government and all the parties look at that report as a blueprint for a practical idea that can help youth find employment quicker.
It's interesting stuff, Graham. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Joining us now is Alyssa Williams. She is a recent Ryerson University graduate who is looking for work, and you heard everything that Graham had to say in the plan, but we want to know a little bit about you. First of all, what did you study?
Okay, so I did a Bachelor of Commerce. My major was Global Management, and my minor was in Human Resources.
And so you've been looking for work for how long now?
I would say about a year now. So I was actually scheduled to graduate in 2013.
Yes.
But by that time, when I was ready to graduate, I realized that I wasn't ready to, I wasn't prepared to apply for jobs and so forth. Basically, the market for hiring, sort of like the cycle that takes place, they don't usually hire students
It's okay. So did you go back to school for another year?
Yes, so I went back to school for another year to finish up my minor in Human Resources so that I could have more skills to put on my resume. So basically, in that year, I took the time to sort out my resume, use the resources at Ryerson. So it's been about a year now that I've been applying for jobs. Most work out there is I find is contract, and a lot of them look for experience, like 5 to 7 years and so forth.
So let me ask you this. So how many jobs do you think you've applied for?
Well, when I was at school, it was a lot harder, obviously, because I had exams and all that.
Yes.
But since I've been graduated, I aim for at least 3 a day. I would say at least every, like, it's very tedious because you have to have like a separate resume for each position and everything, right? So you have to take all that into consideration as well.
It's tough. It's tough, but it's almost like a job in itself, right?
Yes,
when you're applying.
exactly.
So have you had any offers?
Yes, I've had interviews, and I've had.
Have you had solid offers?
Not any solid offers. That I would say mostly it's like temporary stuff.
And have you turned the temporary things down?
Well, I haven't actually turned it down. They actually came back and said, oh, we need someone with a driver's license, or we need someone with this. And then there was always something that I didn't have enough of, or like they were looking for that I didn't have. So I thought maybe, oh, I had the degree, I had, you know, the skills, I did extra community work and all that stuff, but it still wasn't quite enough. So I think having pre-existing relationships with employers is something that really helps students get their foot in the door initially.
Did you do co-op? While you're at Ryerson?
No,
was there a co-op
there are lots of programs at Ryerson that actually do that, but my specific program didn't have an internship opportunity or co-op, so it was, I think, a bit tougher for me. That's why I did the extra year. So I didn't have like a placement, like other programs at Ryerson have that, but even still, if you do that, it doesn't secure the job after.
So what's the plan now, Alyssa?
So right now I've had some interviews, so hopefully you know, they're successful. I've actually since I've graduated, I've had more time to put into applying for jobs, and I've had more confidence in that. Okay, I actually have the degree now, so I can say, okay, I've completed it. Because when you're doing the degree, a lot of them say, oh, well, you're not finished, we want someone who's finished right now, and that's also something too that.
And now you're finished.
Yeah.
So you think it'll be a little brighter?
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so too. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right.